Remember when I said some videos, some YouTube videos, I would show up and I will just do the video and roll with it. Well, this is one of those videos. I had trouble trying to coordinate everything, and I wanted to keep my word, and so here I am. You will see the video. It is in 3 or 4 parts. Um, I didn't I do have makeup on, but I get my hair done tomorrow, so it's just pulled back. So it's me not probably at my best, but I'm here. And so enjoy the video. Don't just ignore me in the distraction. And I hope that y'all get as much out of this as I got out of putting it together for you. So let's flip it Friday.
Good morning. And if you're new to Intentionally Pampered, welcome. I'm Chris King, the maker and owner of Pampered Artisan Bath Products. And if you're returning back, thank you. Thank you for keeping the faith and helping me keep my commitment and be accountable to you. If you are coming here for Flip It Friday, you're in the right place. This video, it didn't go as planned. Let me just tell you, it's Friday morning. I had a system that I've been working well with and fine tuning as I went along, and that is that I would create the videos, and then Thursday, I would create them ahead of time, and then Thursday or sometimes Wednesday, I will put them all together and then save them and to upload them on Friday. And this system seemed to be working well. Well, I guess I got a little bit of beside myself, and I added some extra things to this last video, Flip It Friday, and it wouldn't load, it wouldn't save, it wouldn't merge, it wouldn't do anything. And I know it's something I did wrong. So because of technical difficulty, I managed to save in all of the editing that I was doing on the video. I managed to save the most important part, and that is the breakdown of the car diffuser. The demo and the intro I wasn't able to save, so that's why I'm doing this intro now. And yes, it is Friday morning. It's raining outside, and I got up and I haven't even done my hair. I have my little hair cover on. I brushed my teeth, and here I am. Put a little sweater on, and I'm gonna tell you about the video so that I can link this to the most important part, the breakout of the car diffuser. I did create them. I can't show you how I made them, but this is what they look like. Let me see if I can put them there so you can see. See, it's two of them. And I actually put one in my car, and it does work. Okay, so what I've learned is, hold on, let me turn that down. So what I've learned is that being a business owner, I learn something new all the time. Being a business owner, sometimes when things don't go as planned, it is not a wake-up call and not a stepping stone. It's just an echo of there's still work to do. You're always, at least me, I'm always growing in my craft and in being a small business owner. And when I'm sitting on the other side of the table, not consulting someone for being a business owner, actually doing it and walking in their shoes, it's just a wake-up call that, oh, you thought you had this, but let me show you something else. So it is what it is. So I made the diffuser, and I'm keeping my word. I said I was going to do it. I was going to do Flip It Friday, and I managed to complete the diffuser, make it, time myself. I have some caveats of as I go through the presentation of it and the breakout. You will see I share with you what I've learned from it and everything. I learned from my mistakes. I learned that how much money stays on the shelf, and you will see that too. And it made me really committed to this flipping Friday so much that I can't wait to do the next video on it, because y'all, that little corner, because this was only a dozen, 10 really, it was supposed to be a dozen, and I go into the story of that. But this little corner of making this cost 200 almost to sit on the shelf. 200. And I initially bought the small amount of product that I needed, raw materials, just to do research and development. But nothing was getting researched and nothing was getting developed. It just sat on the shelf. And now I know that even research and development, if you don't take it to the next level, it's costing you money. And that goes for, if this is a hobby, it's costing you money. That's $200 if you bought it to give as gifts, and then you had to turn around. It cost you more because you had to turn around and go purchase the gifts that you were going to use that for. Plus, you have that material sitting there, on a closet, on a shelf, in a suitcase, just in a box somewhere, because you never did anything with it. Pull it out and go on and make it. I decided, since it's only 10 of them, that I will give away 5 to the first 5 subscribers. So you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video, and put in the comments some of the things you want to flip. And you don't have to be a maker. You don't have to be an artisan or a hobbyist, or just something you want to flip. Something, some project you paid money for with plans on finishing it and you didn't. Put it in the comment, so that we can plan on flipping things together. I am so, this was just actually going through with this was such an eye-opener for me. Not just talking about it. Now I'm like embracing what I tell my clients that I do bookkeeping for, that are artisans. I tell them all the time, that's inventory sitting on the shelf. Now, numbers, when I do things in bookkeeping, numbers tell the story. But I'm living the numbers now. It's actually sitting on the shelf. I'm living the numbers now, and I can show them and show you and show me that living the numbers isn't fun. Okay? So come with me. I'm going to pan over to the explain how I did the flip and move the inventory to income. And you will see, just like I did, that this is something that we need to work on. So at the end of the year, let's say we just do these projects, okay? Because I now have $200 that I flipped in something, and I'm not gonna tell you how much. I want to go through the presentation with you. But I have $200 I flipped, and a corner of a shelf that's empty now. Okay? And it's exciting, and you will see too. And look, if we go through this, you flip your stuff, I flip my stuff, we flip together, at the end of the year, you will have inventory that you turned into dollars, or you will have gifts that you can give at Christmas, and you will not have to spend additional money. It's a win-win situation for everyone. So come with me, flip with me, and this is the first of many. I'll see you on the other side. Bye.
Okay, so here we are at Flip It Friday. I've just did the demo, and now I'm going to break down what was really the cost of everything. The cost of goods, as I mentioned earlier, is your raw materials. It is the direct cost of the materials to complete and have a finished product. So in this case, the raw materials is the car diffusers, the fragrance oil, the diffuser base, the packaging organza, and the labels. I purchased the car diffusers, a dozen of them, at $11.95 a dozen from Wholesale Supply Plus. Now, I do know that you can get 50 of them for like 25, 24, something like that, dollars on Amazon. But this was for research. I was not looking to do a huge amount, a large amount of diffusers. I wanted to see if this worked when I was going to do my research and development. But of course, we know how that went. Never researched it, never went past everything sitting on the shelf. So, anyway, I digress. The fragrance oil, my fragrance oil, I buy 16 ounces to 32 ounces, and it averages from $15 up to about $19. And of course, essential oils are more, but we're going to use fragrance oils here. And that I did an average, and it's about $18.75 for 16 ounces. And my diffuser base, I got from Flaming Candles. My fragrance oils I get from various different suppliers, but my diffuser base I got from Flaming Candles. And it was 16 ounces, and that price $23.82 included the shipping. Most of the time when I get fragrance oils, I buy enough that I don't have to pay shipping. I try to avoid shipping at all costs if possible, but some things I can't avoid shipping on. Sometimes if some of the supplies are the same quality on Amazon, I'll do Amazon Prime. But a lot of times I have certain supplies for my fragrance oil and my other ingredients, and I order when they have a deal. Like if you order over $150, it's free shipping, or over $35, whatever the limit is to get that threshold to get free shipping, I try to do that. My packaging organza bags, it was 50 in a pack, and I got that off of Amazon at $6.99. I keep that on hand for whatever reason. I'm always needing an organza bag for something. My label, I'm just going to say it's 5 cents. And that included it printed out with the ink and all of that. So it's 5 cents for each label. Now, what sometimes you don't take into account is the small tools and equipment needed to make the recipe. A lot of times I don't know about you, but me, when I decide to go in on making an item, even if it's for research or development or just making an item for my inventory or even doing a hobby, I always seem to forget there are things needed to make the item, and that's an added cost. So if you're not making um, any bath products now, then the added cost for you will be the scale, the pipettes, the mixing bowls, and the nitrile gloves. However, if you are, you might have these things already. And if you do, that cost, the use of it goes into your overhead. So anyway, a scale, a kitchen scale, $20. I showed you a simple kitchen scale, up to 75, which is more of a commercial scale. The pipettes I get 100 for $30. And mixing bowls, I will admit I put $15 because I think the last set of mixing bowls I got was like 3 or 4 of them from Goodwill, the Pyrex, and the Anchor Hocking or Anchor or something. Okay, and the nitrile gloves I got off of Amazon. Okay, so that is $62.11 for the initial inventory raw materials, and $129 was for the investment in the small tools and equipment. Now, I'm using a recipe that yields 12. My fragrance oil and diffuser base is 50. I do it 50-50. Okay, you can do it 25-75, 25 fragrance oil, 75 diffuser, but I do 50-50. That's just the way I like it when I've smelled it. Okay, so 12 of those times 0.25, because I'm trying to figure out how much I'm going to need. Each jar is 0.25. So 12 of those, it comes out to 3 ounces total. So I'm going to add another ounce for slippage because I know I might spill something. Okay. So now we want to know how much does it cost to make a dozen car diffusers. Well, 12 each, that's $11.95. And then I divided out the 16 ounces to get my each ounce cost, which is $1.17. And I did 2 ounces. I remember I'm doing half and half. 2 ounces makes 234, and the diffuser, same thing. I divided out 149 times 2 is 298. Then my organza bags are 14 cents each. I needed 12 of those, and the labels, 12 labels, 60. Now the part that you a lot of times, I know I did in the beginning, you forget about is labor. Now we're not going to say the labor like, okay, I know you want to pay yourself $100 an hour or $50 an hour because you're the owner. But for this position, this is a production laborer. So the average hourly rate for this is $15 an hour. That's why I was saying in the video earlier, let's just say I take an hour to do this, okay? That's $15. And if I do 25 or 50, it's still just going to be 1 hour, okay? My overhead cost is 29 cents a unit, which is 10%. You look at it like that, 10%, something like that. 15, 10%, but 29 cents a unit. And that includes the equipment, the pictures, the thermometers, the thermometers, the pipettes, the website fees, the list this, the insurance, the marketing ads, if I post it on Facebook, the rent. If you are in your home and you have a dedicated space, when you do your taxes, they assess how much your portion is, your rent portion is. That's where that comes from. It's just a term. Utilities, how much utilities, and shipping and supplies, okay, if you're sending it out. Now, the other thing you got to add later is if you're this also is if you're going, it goes into this overhead, is if you go to a craft show or a farmer's market, that could be the rent, okay? That's where that comes from too. Now, the total cost for that is $38.03. You divide that by 12, it comes out to $3.17. That's how much it costs for you to make that. Now, if you buy a larger amount of bottles and all of that, you can bring that cost down to probably maybe 260, 275, somewhere in there, because you have to put your overhead and all of that in there, okay? So the suggested retail price is $8. So 8 times 12 is 96. That's how much I would have made, which is a 60% profit margin. Now, if I do nothing, don't touch it at all, nothing, no even, just leave it sitting there with the added additional initial investment, I would have sitting on the shelf with the equipment $191.11. That's my loss. That's almost double. It is double, isn't it? 182. Yeah, sitting there. I'm better off making it. Look at this. If I make it $96, not only that, I have fragrance oil still. I have diffuser base still. The only thing I have to go and buy is some more bottles. That's it. I got everything else. So my cost won't be as high, and I would have made even more money. So leaving it sitting on the shelf, I lose, let's just say $200 versus making 96. And I don't even have to use the fragrance oil again for the diffusers. I can use it for soy melts. That's going to be my next thing, or one of my Flip It Fridays is making soy melts, like those Scentsy things, because you always have your investment there will be, of course, is soy wax. Excuse me, coconut, apricot, and soy wax, a blend that I make, and I'll go into that. But the thing about it is I have fragrance oil, and a lot of times we do have extra fragrance oil, a corner here, like an ounce left or a little under an ounce. And you see it doesn't take as much diffuser base, and those little containers don't take much to fill. You can make those up And if anything, it can be an upsell to one of if person buys over $50 or 75, or you just want to give it as a gift. If you're a crafter, this is an excellent teacher's gift, an excellent stocking stuffer. I mean, it's just so many things you could do. And instead of paying $8, and if it's on sale $5, when you can just have already made it and have it ready. So this is something that I did and didn't have to, invest anymore. So I literally moved my inventory to income, be it sold it or I income. To me, if you're a hobbyist and you just want to give somebody, it's still income. It's income, is money you didn't have to spend because you already spent it on it earlier. So this is one way of looking at how to move that inventory instead of just destashing it on a marketplace on Facebook, or throwing it out because the fragrance oils expired, or giving it away for nothing. Um, Actually doing something with it. Who knows? If you hang with me and you like what you saw, comment, like me, and subscribe, and we'll get into some more projects. Share in the comments something you've been wanting to work on, and maybe I can go see if I have the same thing and we can work on it together. Or you can even do tell me, make it, break it down, and share in the comments how much you saved. What was your dollar amount that was sitting on the shelf that you turned into income? I think what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna sell these because it was only 10 of them. I explained that earlier, remember? I'm gonna probably give away to the first 6 people that comment, that first subscribe to me, and put in the comments what they want to clear out of their inventory. And if they liked what they saw, do they want to see more of these type of videos, me breaking it down for Flip It Friday? And suggestions on uh something, if you don't have something that you would see me, ask me if what something else you would like to see me do with fragrance oil, and I'll see if I have those things other than the fragrance oil in my soap studio, and if so, then we'll go from there. Look, y'all, we're in this together. We're going to move this inventory to income. So at the end of the year, we have only the things we are using regularly on our shelves. And if you're a hobbyist, you're moving it to out of the closets, out of suitcases, from under the bed, and you won't have to go shopping for Christmas gifts this year. So if you like what you see, again, subscribe, comment, and if like I said, if you're the first 5 that say something, I will message you to get your address and mail you one of the diffusers, car diffusers. Look, have a good weekend, and if you don't do anything for anyone else, do something for yourself and be intentional when you do it. Okay? So you have a good weekend. Bye.